Dear students, I am going to teach you about cash book. Just give me your few minutes and focus on me. Cash book is a separate book of accounts in which all the business cash transactions are entered concerning the corresponding date. It is different from the cash account where posting is done from the journal. No any credit transactions record in the cash book. Purpose of the cash book, thus providing up-to-date information about a business cash balances without going through the journal ledger. Subsequently, the cash book balances are compared against the bank statements and reconciled in case of discrepancies. This data is then utilized for the preparations of the business financial statement. Types of the cash book. There are four types of the cash books used for accounting purpose. Let us have a look at the types of the cash book. Single column cash book. Single column cash book. Single column cash book is also called a simple cash book. It presents entries for cash receipts on the left side or debit side, and cash payments on the right sides or credit side. Next, double column cash book. A two column cash book is used to record cash and checks. A cash book is the only book of the primary entry which is also part of the double entry since cash and checks received. A two column cash book is used to record cash and checks. A cash book is the only book of the primary entry which is also part of the double entry since cash and checks received are debited and payments are credited, rather than keeping the cash accounts and the bank account separately. A cash book enables us to keep these two accounts side by side. It consists of the two columns of amount on each side of the record cash and bank transactions. Thus, it is more convenient to record and locate cash and bank transactions. Next, triple column of the cash book. In triple column cash book, the two columns are the similar to the double column cash book, while the additional column for discount only. Discount allowed record on the debit side and discount received record on the credit side. The last type of the cash book is petty cash book. Petty cash book, as the name suggests, is for very small transactions that take place in an general cash book. For this reason, it is maintained separately. Examples of such transactions are stationery, postage, food bills, etc. This is the format of the single cash book. You can see here the table is divided into two parts, debit and credit. The gray area mention the debit side and the green area mention the credit side. Each side, debit and credit, have four columns. Number 1, date, details, LF, ledger folio, and amount. So same, date, details, ledger folio, and amount for the credit side. All the cash receipts record on the debit side and all the cash payments record on the credit sides. Now we are solving the one questions for such type of this one. Now we are solving the questions of the single column cash book. This is the questions for the single column cash book. Write up a Siraj Khan single column cash book for the month of April from the following. This transaction is given for the month of the April of the Siraj Khan cash book. This is the format of the cash book. So here you can see here there is a two sides, debit and credit. Each side, debit and credit, have four columns. Now we are starting to solve the questions. So first of all we will give the heading here. That heading is Siraj Khan cash book for the month of April. Then we are giving the dates, details, LF, ledger folio and amount for each column. So here you can see here the date, details, LF, amount for debit side, date, details, LF, amount for the credit sides. Now the first transactions is cash in hand. On 1st April, cash in hand 1650. This is the opening balance. So previous month closing balance become the opening balance for the this month, and this month closing balance will become the closing balance for next month. So closing this cash always debit balance. So in debit sides we will write here on 1st April, date is 1st April, and that is the balance brought down, BD, and amount we will write the amount in amount column 1650. 2nd April, the transaction is cash sales 16,000. Cash sales, this means we are receiving the cash, and always remember, receiving cash we will record on the debit sides, payment cash we will record on the credit side. So here we receive the cash, so it will be record on the debit sides. So here we will record on the 2nd April two sales 16,000. Next is wages paid in cash. So now we are paying the cash. Whenever we will pay, record on the credit sides. So here in date we will write on the date 11th April, we will write the date on 4th April, wages paid. So by wages amount is 2250. Next transaction is on 4th April, cash sales 18,000. So cash sales mean we are receiving the cash by sales. So here we will record on the debit side 4th April by two sales. 4th April two sales is amount is 18,000. Next transactions on 11th April, paid salaries by cash. Now we are giving the cash, pay the cash, post on the credit sides. So credit sides on 11th April by salaries, amount is 2850. We will record on the credit sides. Next transaction says credit sales. Credit sales mean we are not receiving any cash. It is credit. So this means it is a promise to receive the cash in future. So this is the credit sales, mean we are not receiving the cash. So any transactions in which we will not receive cash or we will not pay cash, we will not record in the cash book. So leave this entry on 12th April. This is not the cash transaction, so leave this one. On 14th April, not receivable, realized. So this means now we are receiving the cash by the note receivable. So in here we will write the date on 14th April, two notes receivable and amount is 3000 on the debit sides. Next, on 17th April, paid cash for repairing. Now we are paying the cash, so record on the credit sides. On 17th, buy repairs, so record is on this one 360. Next, on 19th April, sales by cash. So we are receiving the cash by sales 11,400. So record on the debit sides. Debit sides on 19th April, two sales 11,500. Next is paid office expenses. So this means now we are paying the office expenses. So we will record here on the credit sides. Buy office expenses 180 on 21st April. Next, on 25th April, paid rent and rates. Same, we are paying the cash, so record on the credit sides buy rent and rates. It is 3600. 25th April, we will write the date. Next, 27th April, same paid electricity. So we are paying the electricity. So on the credit side, we record these transactions on 27th April on date. Buy electricity bill. Amount is 900. So on next is 28th April. Cash collect from the debtors. So now we are receiving the cash from the debtors. So we will record on the debit sides. Two debtors. Amount is 4,500. Amount we will write here 4,500. On 28th April, cash collect from the debtors, debit sides. So next, goods purchase 2000. So this means we are purchasing the goods. We pay the cash. So payment always record on the credit sides. So in credit sides, that is 29th April, buy purchase. It is 2000. Next, 30th April, retired bank loan. Retired bank loan means we are paying the rent. So sorry, retired bank loan account mean we are paying the loan. So it is on the credit sides. On 30th April, buy bank loan. Amount is 3000. Now the transaction is finished. So now we will find the result of this month. First of all, we will add our debit total. What is the debit total is 54,550. So now we will total the credit side total. In cash book, always remember debit sides will greater than the credit sides. So this total here and the debit total minus credit total, we will write the balance. So in your rough copy, you can total this credits, and then if the credit side total is greater than the debit side total, so we will write the balance here, the remaining balance here. Okay, what is the difference between the debit and credit? But in here, the credit total is smaller than the debit total. So in here, the debit total is greater than the credit total. So here we will find what is the difference between the debit and credits. The difference is we will write on the credit sides by balance. So now the debit total is 54,550 and the credit total you will total the credit sides on your rough sides, a rough paper, rough there, and then you will check what is the difference between the debit and the credits. So that difference become the balance is 39,410. 39,410, this is the balance. So this means 39,400 is amount is difference between the debit and the credit. So credit side is smaller than the debit side by 39,410. So this become the closing balance of the month of April. And, and this closing balance we will transfer to the next month. It will become the opening balance for the May. So here in 1st May it is become the two balance brought down 39,410. So this is the questions. This is the very easy. I think you will not feel any difficulties, any problems if you will remember only three things. Number one, cash. Cash always debit balance. Number second, receive cash always post on the debit side and payment cash always record on the credit sides. And number third, no any credit transactions or non-cash transactions will record in the cash book. If you will follow these three rules, you will never make any mistakes whenever you prepare, you will solve these questions for the single column cash book. Now, thank you very much, and I think it is you understand.